Good evening, and I'd like to call the City Council Committee of the Whole meeting for October 3rd, 2018 to order. You know, at this time for our moment of silence, actually a number of us have been involved with a variety of really exciting initiatives, but more importantly, so many different things related to the children in our community, youth support programs, organizations that want to come together. And as we get near to reporting back of the information we found and what the next steps are, it is great to see so many individuals, organizations who are coming together, families who are coming together saying we want to be part of a long-term solution. So for all those that are committed to making our community the best it can possibly be, but make sure all children are included in that plan, let's stop for a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. Alderman Tompkins, would you lead us in a Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Alderman Tompkins. That was good. Thank you. First of all, Jackie, would you please call the roll?
Ambrose.
Here.
Condon.
Here.
Rawson.
Here.
Dickman.
Here.
Mattson.
Here.
Grip.
Here.
McGinnis.
Here.
Kluel. Tompkins.
Here.
Dunn.
Here.
9 present, Your Honor.
Thank you. And I just wanted to note Alderman Kluel is in a urban revitalization conference up in Dubuque, and he wanted us to mention that tonight, that he wouldn't be able to be attending this meeting. Our meeting protocol, as we do each week, again, we want to wish you all a good evening and thank you for being here. And as we begin this meeting of our City Council, we would like to again welcome all those in attendance and those who are viewing the meeting on television or on the internet. We respectfully welcome your comments and opinions, and please keep in mind that as you talk to the council, you're also sharing your thoughts with fellow Davenporters and with viewers throughout the region by way of our TV broadcast. We are happy that you're participating in your city government and ask that your participation reflect the common desire we all share to make Davenport an even greater place for all of our citizens. For the children, adults, seniors, and families in our community, those in attendance, and those watching at home, I thank you for joining us. At this time, we ask that you turn off or silence your cell phones and other electronic handheld devices, as they can interfere with the audio system here in the chambers and be quite disruptive. If you wish to address the City Council on a specific item that appears on a committee agenda, you are encouraged to do so during that standing committee. You will also have an opportunity to address the City Council under Public with Business, which will occur towards the end of the meeting. When addressing the Council, I ask that you step to the podium and wait to be recognized by myself or the committee chair, and speak to the Council as a body and not to any single member. We will ask that you limit your remarks to no more than 5 minutes, and I ask that everyone observe, and I know you all will, the commonly accepted rules of courtesy, decorum, dignity, and good taste. So thank you again for being here. Is there a city administrator update this evening?
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. We have 2 public hearings this evening. They are both with Public Works, and Alderman Ambrose will conduct those public hearings.
Thank you, Honor. The first public hearing is on the proposed adoption of the International Code Councils of 2015 International Property Maintenance Code and Amendments. Anybody wishing to address that, please come forward. Hearing and seeing no one, Your Honor, I move to close this public hearing. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The second public hearing is on the plan specifications form of contract, an estimated cost for the construction of Phase 1 of the Stream Bank Stabilization Project on Silver Creek, estimated $195,000. Anybody from the public? Hearing and seeing no one, Your Honor, I move to close this public hearing. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? That's it, Your Honor.
Thank you, Alderman Ambrose. We have one presentation tonight. We're going to ask Kathy Wine to come up. Again, Kathy is obviously a tremendous advocate for the Mississippi River and our community, and they're coming up with a conference that they want to make sure we all know about. It was presented as part of our MRCTI, or Mississippi Rivers Group, and we wanted all of you to be aware of it as well. Kathy, please.
Thank you, Your Honor, and members of the council and staff. Yes, I'm Kathy Wine with River Action, Executive Director, and we're wanting to invite you, encourage you to come to our Upper Mississippi River Conference, October 24th and 25th at Stony Creek Conference Center in Moline. And we will discuss a lot of things that stakeholders of the river want discussed. This particular conference is called Our Watershed, Working Together for Healthy Water and Flood Resilient Communities. And it's appropriate that I'm here tonight. It's timely. Our waters are rising again in the Mississippi River. We've invited all mayors, city administrators, floodplain managers, city councils, public works directors, emergency management personnel, concerned citizens, all river stakeholders in our upper Mississippi, 5 states. 2 keynote speakers, and they're identified in the brochure I put on at your desk, are, I'm going to mention, and then there are many others, as you can see, but 2, Dr. Jerry Galloway is going to come back and talk about the 93 flood. He was here then. He was tasked by the White House at the time to write a summary and an analysis, a study, if you will, about the 93 flood. We've adopted a lot of the things he suggested, but his talk will be a look back and a look ahead at what have 25 years taught us and the world about flooding. His work at the university where he teaches does relate to water issues all the time and how we're responding to climate change. So it will be a very interesting talk. And then I want to call your attention to Mary Miss. She will be featured as well. She's from the City as a Living Lab. She's the founder, director in New York City, and her work combines work of scientists and artists together to look at how together they can do environmental art with the purpose of changing behavior. And that's hard to do. But I'm going to give you an example of one of the things she has done, and I think it proves what can be done. She will not only tell us about her artwork at her program, she will also lead a workshop the next day with high school students in the area, again, art students and biology science students, and show them how they can partner and work together to create environmental art that may change opinions. And we're addressing different issues with those students, flooding issues, of course, safety issues, since so many, too many, have had accidents on the river and died in this last 18 months. So I'll give you an example of how it has worked for her. In Boulder Creek community in Colorado, they have flash flooding often. She came up with a design that had large blue discs put on trees and posts and buildings, all at the height of the flash flood level. When citizens would come upon them, it's like connecting the dots, but it became very clear what it was that it was measuring. The next flash flood that community had very little property damage. They'd gotten things out of the floodway, and no loss of life or damage in that way either. So that's how it changes behavior. It brought to mind all the citizens through that artwork what can be done to delight with art, at the same time change behavior. The other part of the conference is important, and that is the flood resiliency workshop that we're going to host. It will be an effort to bring together Quad City community into a Quad City Flood Resiliency Alliance. And the person leading that workshop, this is on Thursday afternoon, is Mike Setvin, who has done this successfully in the Illinois Valley. And what has been successful about it is he's brought down flood insurance costs for cities, businesses, homeowners. And it's done with the advice and the recommendations from FEMA. They suggest that all cities have a floodplain manager. Davenport does, that's good. They suggest that you become a part of the community rating system or the CRS system. And because Davenport is the only quad city that has a CRS number, and Davenport has one, we've asked Mayor Cliff to give the opening remarks at this workshop, and thank you for agreeing to do that. I think it's a very important meeting. We're going to talk about why and how to join an alliance like this, the basics of flood alliances, the FEMA system and how you bring your rating up. The documents that need to be made available to businesses and homeowners, how to create or have loss avoidance, less risk there, flood damage prevention ordinances that can be passed, and much more. So I feel that once we bring this group together and have, I think, a general agreement that this is something that would be good for us, it worked for others, why wouldn't it work for us? And then we can find some leadership locally to carry it out and bring it forward and make it happen. So
thank
you're
you.
invited, and I
Yeah.
hope you'll come.
Well, definitely. Thank you, Kathy. This is also, again, very much in concert with the discussions we had with the Mississippi River Cities and Towns Initiative.
Yeah.
We thank you and some of your team who participated in that conference as well, an annual meeting. And this is important work. I've been able to attend before, and so thank you very much. And I think Alderman Ambrose has a comment.
Thank you, Your Honor. Kathy, thanks for your leadership, looking out for the great Mississippi and the Quad Cities. But on another topic, could you give us a brief update on the First Bridge project?
Okay, we were talking about that before the meeting. What we've been successful in doing over the summer is to find in-kind gifts for the bridge that has really brought down our overall budget costs and brought up our match, which when you're writing grants is what you need. We have not yet received the leadership gift from DOT that I would like to receive before we can roll out the whole campaign and get the matching funds needed for that. But I will tell you that we have aluminum, we have lumber, we have stone from Stone City and near Anamosa, we have concrete from Hahn across the street from us. We've had Russell Construction has done a lot of work for us as well and will continue in the construction stage. We have done a lot in the summer months to move it forward, and so.
Well, it's an exciting project, Kathy, and, you know, if the city can help you out with the DOT, please reach out to Corey. Thanks.
Well, thank you.
Thank you again.
Take advantage of all that.
Thank you, Alderman Ambrose, and thank you, Kathy, for all that
I'll
you're
see you
doing
in
as well.
October.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none. We're going to move on to our petitions and communication from myself and my colleagues. Alderman Mattson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just want to remind everybody, tomorrow night, 6 p.m., Public Works is gracious enough to host. We're having a meeting concerning the area woods around the Marquette Dog Park. There's a proposal to make a bike area in the woods, and so neighbors and folks are going to get together and talk, but everybody's invited, so 6 p.m. at Public Works. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Mattson. Alderman Dickman.
Thank you, Your Honor. Wanted to let everyone know that next Thursday, October 11th, I will be having my ward meeting at 6 p.m. at Truman Elementary. I have invited the Quad City Convention and Visitors Bureau to come and talk about how to be a tourist in your own backyard as we're getting into the winter months here. It's always fun to remember that there's still good stuff to do in the Quad Cities. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Dickman. Seeing no others, we're going to move on to our actions items for discussion. Our first area to be discussed is community development, and Alderman Grip will lead the discussion, and I think he will set the agenda as well this evening, or unless he has designated someone else to do that.
I will set the agenda. Thank you, Your Honor. We have two items up for discussion on community development this evening. First item is a second consideration, ordinance for case REZ 18-12, being the request of Chris Townsend on behalf of Jimmy Holt to rezone 1.43 acres, more or less, of property located at 3730 West Locust Street from C1 Neighborhood Commercial and R3 Moderate Density Dwelling District to PDD Planned Development District. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to comment on this item? Anyone from the council? This item will move on. Item number 2 is a second consideration, ordinance for case REZ 18-13 of Hawkeye Paving for the rezoning of 30.7 acres, more or less, of real property located at 8228 North Fairmount Street, the former Wacky Water site, from A1 Agricultural District to M1 Light Industrial District to facilitate development of contractor headquarters, shop, and equipment storage. Is there anyone from the public who wishes to comment on this item? Anyone from the council?
Seeing no one, this item will move on. And I would entertain a motion to place both items on the consent agenda. There's a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Your Honor, that concludes community development.
Thank you, Alderman Grip. Our second area to be discussed is public safety, and Alderman Rawson will lead that discussion. Alderman Condon will set the agenda.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll read these by section. First section, first consideration, ordinance amending Schedule 14 of Chapter 10.96 entitled Intersection Traffic Signals by adding 53rd Street at the Costco entrance. Anyone from the public would like to comment on that item? Anyone from council? Seeing and hearing no one, that item will move on. Section 2, resolution closing various streets, lanes, or public grounds on the listed dates to hold outdoor events. QC United Run with the Bull 5K and Youth Relays, October 13th, 2018, 6 a.m. to 12 noon. Closure location will be Gaines Street in front of modern Woodman Stadium. Project Renewal Halloween Block Party, October 31st, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Closure location will be the intersections of 6th, Vine, and Ash Streets. Quad City Arts Festival of Trees Holiday Parade, November 17th, 2018, 4 a.m. to when the parade ends. Closure location, staging area at 4 a.m., closing 3rd Street between Pershing and LeClaire Street, and Iowa Street between 2nd and 4th Street. Parade route at 9 a.m., closing 2nd and 3rd Street from Pershing to Scott Street. All north-south streets will be closed between River Drive and 4th Street until parade ends. St. Paul the Apostle Church Trunk or Treat, October 24th, 2018, 4:30 to 8:30 p.m. Closure location, Rush Holmes Street between Cary and Arlington. All community events, Electric Christmas, November 23rd through December 31st, 8 a.m. to 12 a.m. daily. Closure location will be Beiderbecke Drive between Gaines and Marquette Street. Village of East Davenport, Christmas in the Village, November 30th and December 1st, 2018, 3 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. each day. Closure location, 11th Street between Mound and Jersey, Ridge Road, and Christie from 11th Street to the alley north. Anyone from the public have any comments on any of those items in that section? Anyone from council? Seeing and hearing no one, those items will move on. Section 3, motion approving a beer and liquor license. These are for new, licensed new owner, temporary permit, or temporary outdoor area. Jimmy O's Saloon, 2735 Telegraph Road, adding a permanent outdoor area, license type C, liquor. The Diner, 421 West River Drive, outdoor area, license type C, liquor. Rome, 210 East River Drive, outdoor area, license type C, liquor. The Gypsy Highway Bar and Grill, 2606 West Locust Street, outdoor area, license type C. Anyone from the public have comments on any of those items? Anyone from council? Seeing and hearing no one, those items will move on. The next section is annual license renewal. I won't read through those. Those are in your packet for your perusal. I do want to pull out one, Shenanigans, just to put that on discussion for next week. I've already asked Tom Warner to do just a brief update for all of us on some of the events that have transpired this summer in relation to Shenanigans, and I've also requested that the owners be here next Wednesday to give us an update on how they have increased their safety measures and what things they've put in place to mitigate some of these issues going forward. So that would add that to discussion, and then the rest of those are in the packet, and I believe that takes us to the end, and I would ask Alderman Condon to set an agenda.
All right, so under number 3B, renewals, Shenanigans will go on the discussion agenda, and all other items will go on the consent agenda.
There's been a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. We're done, Your Honor.
Great, thank you, Alderman Rawson and Alderman Condon. Our next area is Public Works, and Alderman Ambrose will lead that discussion, and Alderman Dunn will set the agenda.
Thank you, Honor. The first item for discussion is an ordinance amending Schedule 1 of Chapter 10.98 entitled Snow Routes. Number 2 is a second consideration, an ordinance amending multiple chapters located within Title 8, Health, Safety, and Neighborhood Enhancement of the Davenport Municipal Code for the purposes of clarification and consistency with enforcement. You know, I want to take a time and thank Rich and our legal department for all their work they've done on this. Number 3 is a resolution approving the change order number 1 to Lyman Construction not to exceed $200,000 for the Davenport Municipal Airport runway 1533 reconstruction. Number 4 is a resolution awarding a contract for the 2018 bridge maintenance work to Mittum Inc. of Brooklyn, Iowa in the amount of $313,146. Number 5 is a resolution on the plan specifications and form of contract and estimated cost for the construction of Phase 1 Stream Bank Stabilization Project on Silver Creek, estimated cost $195,000. Do we have someone from staff that can, for the public, explain what our goals are with the stabilization of Silver Creek?
Brian Shad, Public Works. This is a section from Kimberly Road south to a pedestrian bridge on Silver Creek. Unfortunately, we've got quite a bit of erosion, some nick points and such. This would grade those back out, stabilize them, use vegetated stabilization, and repair that so it does not continue.
All right. Have we reached out to the neighbors on?
Quite a few times we are working.
Because I
with them
know
on
there's
that.
been several issues in the past with the neighbors and their concerns.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Brian. Number 6 is a resolution approving the contract of the 4th and LeClaire Street Sewer Separation Project to Langman Construction in the amount of $446,270. And number 7 is a resolution approving the contract for the Sky Bridge Window Repair Project from Precision Builders Incorporated, Bettendorf, Iowa, in the amount of $378,802.20. Now I'll ask anybody from the public wishes to address any one of these items, please come forward. Council. Number 3, Alderman Dickman.
Just wanted to thank staff for all their hard work on the stream bank stabilization. I know that that's probably another issue where you got really tired of getting emails from me and setting up meetings and working. I'm so glad that you were able to work with residents to make this happen. I was very excited to see this on the agenda, so thank you again.
All right, thanks, Alderman Dickman. Alderman Mattson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Gleason, just, you can nod or come up, maybe come up. So on snow routes, is it the general intent still to kind of have a dedicated plow person in the areas like we used to, and kind of so someone covers the same thing? Maybe talk a little bit about that, and maybe before we get to winter, maybe a little bit of an update for us on how we do that.
Sure, yep. I'm Nicole Gleason, Public Works. We are planning to have that on your agenda yet this month for a snow update, but this particular item was to do some addition of
Right.
areas as a result to the extra roads we've added to town. So,
Yep. So, but your general intent is to do generally, and you'll update us.
I will, yep, and
Thank you.
we are repeating the same plan we did last year, which we felt was successful.
Thank
So,
you.
Thank you.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alderman Mattson. And thanks to Nicole and Public Works. The snow removal gets better every year, and I appreciate it. Alderman Dunn, please set the agenda.
Excuse me, I think we had one comment.
Carrie, I
Thank you.
apologize.
I just wanted to make a motion to waive the third consideration for number 2 and approve that next week.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Alderman Dunn, please set the agenda.
I make a motion to place item number 2 on discussion and the remainder items on consent, please.
All right. In favor? Opposed? Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you to Alderman Ambrose and Alderman Dunn. Our last area to be discussed is finance, and Alderman Tompkins will lead that discussion, and Alderman McGinnis will set the agenda.
Thank you. We only have 3 items tonight for finance, so I'll start with number 1 is a resolution approving a downtown streetlight replacement program between the City of Davenport and the Downtown Davenport Partnership. This is just a project that was going to bring brighter lights, more efficient with LEDs, and certainly more consistency as well. And I wanted to thank the DDP for their investment in this project, so thank you. Anyone from the public wish to comment on this item?
Kyle Carter, Executive Director for the Downtown Davenport Partnership. I would like to return the favor and thank the city for an enormous amount of work that went into this over the years. This has been a major goal of both the city and the partnership to finally align who owns what, how we fix it. This has been a lot of background work. I'd like to thank Brandon in particular for doing a heck of a lot of work putting the resolution together. when this is all said and done, we'll have lighting that matches across downtown. We'll have clear understanding of maintenance. We'll have a safer, better, just better downtown. And so thank you for all the work on this, and we are eager to be your partners going forward on this project. Thank you.
Thank you. Alderman Grip.
Thank you. Just wanted to speak out in favor and talk about, street lights seems like an inconsequential thing, a small thing, but when you couple this with the streetscaping program that we have downtown, you start to talk about placemaking, safety, design, continuity. You bring those all together, and when people are downtown, they know that they're in a different place, a better place, and I think it's money well spent, and I think it was a good use of the funds that are being used here. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, this item will move on. Number 2 is a resolution approving a contract for the purchase of 2 fire engines from Custom Fire Apparatus of Osceola, Wisconsin, in the amount of $1,061,467.12. This is very exciting, something that some of us have been waiting for a long time. So we're really glad to see this moving and wish it was going to be here tomorrow, but we know it's a process. So anyone from the public wish to comment on this item? Anyone from council? This item will move on. And number 3 is a resolution setting a public hearing for the consideration of a lease agreement for the Taste of Ethiopia restaurant in the Package Express building. Anyone from the public wish to comment on this item? Anyone from council? Mayor?
Just a comment. This is really kind of the American dream kind of a story. Both the family members were from Ethiopia and have jobs working. I think both of them work at Deere. They have started this and wanted to remain with their culture here in the community, but also at the same for those buildings we have, for the Riverfront Improvement Commission, for the Freight House, which I think is now full, totally subscribed. It's been all the plans that we've had, and this is another step in that direction. Plus, with 4 Ethiopian grandchildren, it'll be a great place to take the kids. So I'm really excited about this as well.
Excellent, thank you. This item will move on. Alderman McGinnis, will you please set the agenda?
I'd make a motion that all 3 of these items be put on the consent agenda.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Excellent, thank you. And then last, we just have a list of purchases, just for informational purposes only, between $10,000 and $50,000, and that is finance. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Tompkins and Alderman McGinnis. Are there any other ordinance resolutions or motions this evening? Seeing none, are there any public with business tonight? Seeing none, are there any other reports of city officials? Do we have a motion to adjourn? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. Meeting adjourned.